Hi, this is Stuart Corrigan from Vanguard in Scotland. I've made you a short video which will be really helpful for you if you manage a casework environment. It'll make sure that you get faster throughput, and of course you want faster throughput with less cost and no hassle. So, short video, here's how to go about doing it. First of all, let's look at what makes up a casework environment. Well, if you manage one of the following services, then this video is definitely for you. If you do any form of management of installations, if you work in any form of casework environment where a case has to be open and closed and passed through to other people, capital works where you have to refurbish lots of properties, insurance claims is a classic casework environment, marketing processes, again, where pieces of work have to be done, the case is opened and closed, put down and picked up before it can finally be closed from the customer's perspective. Social work's another one. Housing adaptations for the elderly or disabled. Voids is another classic casework type environment. And of course, projects is a casework environment. So if you manage in any of these types of services, then this short video is definitely for you. First of all, let's look at the classic mistakes that people make when they're trying to manage casework environments. First thing is we're told, if you want faster throughput, get all the cases open. This is classic in terms of public sector planning. You go into any public sector planning department, you'll see all the planners with 40, 50, 60 cases open. It's completely wrong. Next thing is get started as fast as possible. In other words, open as many cases as you can and get started on all the cases at the one time. What both of these cause is they cause multitasking, which means that you're working across a number of different cases at the same time, and as a result, everything takes longer. The other problem, of course, is when you pick a case up and put it down again. Studies show that it can take anything up to 3 to 4 minutes just to refocus on knowing where you were before you put that case down. Final thing is there's a view that you need to use due dates to manage performance, and in actual fact, this will make performance worse. Again, let's look at why. Well, as I already said, when you open all the cases, what you get is this multitasking phenomenon. And the more we work on more cases, a bit like when you go to your desk and your desk is full of work and you don't know where to start and you do a little bit of everything, actually nothing gets done. Getting started as fast as possible, well, the big issue, as I said, is because what you're having to do is pick up a case and restart the case, it takes longer. But there's this other issue, which is because you're starting as fast as you can, often you'll start to work on things where not all the information exists. In other words, it's not clean, and as a result you have to put the case down, send it back to someone to get the case clean, to get more information, and as such it takes longer. Final thing is using due dates causes student syndrome. Can you think back to your school or college or university days? How many of us, when our lecturer said to us, go home and start an essay, how many people actually started the essay that night? Or were you a bit like me in that you'd leave it until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, the night before the essay was due, and of course quality suffers and it tends to be late. So this is what student syndrome does. So what to do instead? Well, first thing is, if you work in a project type environment, is look at the number of open cases and immediately freeze 30 to 40% of your cases so that you can put your skills, resource and effort into managing the oldest cases first. Second thing is to consider the first part of the project or the case prep so that you can make sure that before you start working on that case that it's absolutely clean. Next is make sure that there's no due dates, so that the rule is pick up the oldest case first, work on it in order and do the work as fast as possible and do the work correct. Let's not worry about when it should be due. Let's get these things in as fast as they can. In actual fact, we're doing some work in Lincoln City Council with the planning department at the moment, and what we're finding now is by not using due dates and by putting these other principles in place, every single case is coming in below the government's statutory due date of 57 days. Isn't that astonishing? By not using due dates, we're actually doing the work much, much faster. And of course, what you will need to manage this, to be able to put these rules and principles in place, is a throughput board. This is a throughput board again being used by another department in the Lincolnshire area, Lincoln City Council, and North Stephen Council, being managed by an amazing manager called Steve Boland. And as you can see, what he's managing here is he's managing the adaptations of houses for the elderly, and what you can see on here is the different stages of the job, whether the case is open, and the little red dots tell you whether the case is blocked, and that immediately leads the manager to know where to take action so that constant throughput is going through the system. The one other thing you'll see is this is incredibly simple and incredibly cheap. We don't believe in spending thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds on complex IT systems when actually a £60 throughput board will solve all your problems. So there you have it. What to do next? You've got the general concept, but do you need some help to implement? Well, if you do want to know what to do next, then go to the button below, click the button and get some expert help. And you'll get to speak to me, Stuart Corrigan, on the conference call, and what we'll do is we'll talk through some of your challenges. I promise you that I will do my best to give you some added value, some help as much as I can, the general direction of the solution on the call, and of course I'll take a couple of minutes to outline what we could do should you need help with implementation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've got some value from it, despite the fact that it's very, very short. And again, I wish you luck with your transformations and culture change programs within your organisation. Thank you very much.